get right into the news, good buddy, and get this train started. I want to go
Get it over
into
with.
my first penny of the day, first topic of the day. Tencent invests in new Ubisoft subsidiary to develop pre-existing IPs. Chinese conglomerate Tencent spends $1.25 billion investing in Ubisoft subsidiary, focusing on developing games in the Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six franchises. Following news 2 weeks ago that Ubisoft was seeking investors, including Tencent, in a new entity specializing in developing Ubisoft owned IPs, the company announced the partnership in a press release this past Thursday. The statement reads, quote, following the formal and competitive selection process initiated by the group earlier this year, Tencent will invest 1.16 billion euros for a minority stake in the subsidiary. This new subsidiary will focus on building game ecosystems designed to become truly evergreen and multi-platform, backed by greater investment and boosted creative capacities. It will drive further increases in quality of narrative solo experiences, expand multiplayer offerings with increased frequency of content release, introduce free-to-play touchpoints, and integrate more social features. Excuse me.
Gesundheit. Is the sickness coming around? It's spreading.
That will not be the
Spreading
first time
hard.
I'll have to pause to cough. Back to the article that Connor wrote, TwoPennyGamesNews.substacks.com. Aside from the successful launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft's recent projects have underperformed, with Star Wars Outlaws reportedly selling less copies in 2024 than the 2023 title Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Gee, who could have predicted that? Furthermore, Ubisoft's 2024 online FPS shooter X Defiance has already announced servers will no longer be supported on June 3rd, while both Skull and Bones and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown similarly performed poorly, with Prince of Persia's development team being disbanded following the game's release. Not Prince of Persia team's fault.
Nope, not at all.
Quote, as we accelerate the company's transformation, this is a foundational step in changing Ubisoft's operating model that will enable us to be both agile and ambitious, said Ubisoft co-founder and CEO Yves Guillemot. Quote, we are focused on building strong game ecosystems designed to be evergreen, growing high-performing brands, and creating new IPs powered by cutting-edge and emerging technologies, yada, 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 yada. Once again, just a bunch of PR speak that was probably written by an AI robot at this point, which is the amount of times that we've heard this speech given again and again and again, and it all means nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Tencent investing heavily and having such a premier stock in Ubisoft, not a great thing, because Tencent is one of these companies that is just so profit-driven, has contributed to a large percentage of layoffs that have happened over in the last couple of years through their just massive buyout and purchase and buy-in into the games industry. This is not a company that's really for the culture. And Ubisoft, which has fallen so far from the grace that it held in the early 2010s, is also a company that, like, I just have zero faith in these days, to the point to where I'm personally, not because of any quote-unquote said controversy surrounding the game, but I'm personally not buying or playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Again, not because of the game itself. From what I hear, the game is fun. But personally, just how Ubisoft has been conducting themselves business-wise and the amount of layoffs that they've had. Connor, you pointed it out, the disbandment of the Prince of Persia team was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, also followed up by Star Wars Outlaws being just a colossal turd. You can check out my review on that game on the channel. But yeah, I've lost a lot of faith in Ubisoft. I don't really feel like supporting Ubisoft, and this just kind of feels like a heavy continuation in the patterns that we've seen up to this point, letting franchises like Prince of Persia, Splinter Cell, Rayman just kind of die on the vine. Tom Clancy kind of just being boiled down to Rainbow Six, and even in that, Rainbow Six Siege almost exclusively has been very, very disappointing. The colossal failure that is Skull and Bones, the deterioration of Assassin's Creed in terms of quality. I'm just kind of tired of all of it. Far Cry just being a copy and paste game for the last decade. I'm just tired of all of it, and yeah, this just seems to be a continuation of that. It's really disappointing, and this is to me a big sign of like, oh, Ubisoft is going under Tencent, so it's gonna get even colder. It's gonna be even more money hungry, and yeah, we're just gonna probably see the continuation of the trend that we have been with Ubisoft games and Ubisoft Studios. Whether that studio is talented or not, lots of these studios have also been rife with controversy through lots of like sexual harassment complaints and just what was it? Ubisoft Singapore, I believe, which
Yeah,
was
the ones who did Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Was they were like compared to like a circus or something, like or like maybe something even more heinous than that. And so yeah, I've lost all faith in anything Ubisoft these days, and it hurts me to say because there's a large percentage of Ubisoft IPs that raised me. I grew up on Prince of Persia. I spent my teenage years with Assassin's Creed. I had a heavy stint in Rainbow Six Siege and Far Cry, and so yeah, it's just really disappointing to me to see a publisher of this size with so many great IPs and with so much talent just waste it all.
Whether these games will improve due to this new relationship with Tencent,
And I hope they do.
I hope they do as well, but it's not assured. It really isn't. Assassin's Creed, a lot of people have gotten burnt down by it. You know, they tried to go back to their origins with Mirage. That didn't really do big numbers, didn't draw back a lot of people to it. In fact, it may
Also,
more
just
than
wasn't that
anything
good.
else. From I've heard some good things about it, but it's definitely not what Assassin's Creed needed at the time. And the new direction that they're going in, at least it's working financially. Assassin's Creed Shadows has sold amazingly well so far. We'll see if that keeps up.
Second fastest
But even so,
selling Assassin's Creed game to date.
yes. But the problem is it's still in that same vein of what we've seen, and why I'm also not buying it with Odyssey and with Valhalla and even Origins, where it's fallen into a routine again. And originally, it got tiresome after a while, and it seems like that's going to be happening with this franchise relatively soon, unless Tencent's able to do some kind of interesting twist on it. But I don't think they particularly will. Far Cry, Rainbow Six Siege, I guess I'll say real quick. That's surprising to me because they're doing a rehaul. They're updating a bunch of shit. I know there was a presentation recently. I didn't watch it.
That game's gone through a bit of a revival over the last year or two.
Yeah. So, I guess they did that maybe I don't know if they did that with the plan of having it sold off, and all of these changes they've been making to it recently. It's all going to work as part of the plan in association with Tencent. I don't really quite know. Far Cry is kind of same thing with Assassin's Creed. It had its burnt out period. We hadn't had one since what was the last one that was released? 2022, 23?
6 in 23, I think.
Yeah, and that also wasn't really received all that well. It came and went. It didn't have the fanfare it used to. And so that combined with Tencent taking control of things, I see us having some layoffs relatively shortly down the line. I don't know how many people would be laid off, but clearly Tencent and the industry as a whole are not going to be the ones to change that. And so, yeah, this is just, hopefully it does something good for these IPs, but as Ubisoft has conducted itself in recent years, and with these generic words of, we're going to,
Far Cry
be
6
agile and ambitious. In 2021.
Yeah.
So
have we had one of them spin-off Far Cries in the last?
No, we had a spin-off Far Cry, but that was after 5. That was the only spin-off
we've
one
had a couple. They usually did. They would do one, and then they'd do a spin-off, and then they'd do another one, and they'd do a spin-off.
They only did that
Primal.
twice.
Primal was after 4.
But in that case, they would only done those spin-offs twice, because they would have done it after 4, and then they would have done the one that takes place after 5.
No, because it was 3, and then it was Blood Dragon, and then it was 4.
That was DLC.
And then it was Primal. It's the same shit.
No, it's not. One's a whole different game. One's
it got its own box in a store. It was just in that time where like we didn't like differentiate the difference between a DLC and a thing. Like that was a game.
Well, either way, they seem to have stopped doing that kind of model of having a spin-off game.
Yeah, probably. I'm just trying to remember if they've done it for post 6 is the thing, because that's real. 6 is the break in the pattern. It's not like that's an established pattern that they set, and then they've just not done it for 6. It looks like. I'm trying to remember what the one after 5 was called. It was the one with the like like the twin sisters that you did. New Dawn? No.
Yeah. I was wanting something Dawn, like
Something
Great
like
Path of.
that. Yeah, yeah, it was something weird like that. And then yeah, and I can't remember one after 6. I don't think they've done one. Cuz was that the same team that did the Avatar game?
Ooh, I do not know. I cannot.
Cuz that Avatar game was just kind of like a Far Cry clone.
It was, yes.
Yeah,
So I
so
wouldn't be
I don't know.
surprised if
I
it
don't
was.
know if it was the same studio or not. I wasn't. I just don't have that information. But like that's the same idea. But again, that's another game that was just like received, and they went. Everybody went. All right, it's a Ubisoft game. It's a video game, and like, I just think the time where like, there was a time where like, that formula like defined an era, and it was super hot. Everybody loved it. And then it got to a point where like everyone was like, these are all copy and paste, but there were still fans who were like, yeah, it's copy and like, yeah, but like we know what this formula is, but I like it, it's fun. Excuse me.
But it's just not going to work
but like
anymore.
now it's another 10 years have gone by, and we're all looking back going, who wants this anymore? And I really don't think anybody does.
Yeah, we'll see what the next games are, but I don't have much hope for them. This is not exactly because Tencent's not even that good of a company where the things they touch turn to gold.
They
other
definitely don't.
Yeah, so it's not even a surefire thing that these games will actually be good here on out. And Ubisoft has not had the best business sense in recent years, so I don't really have much reason to trust them on this either.
I'm trying to remember what else we have coming from Ubisoft now that we can even look forward to, and I don't think they have anything on the I don't think they have anything on the docket. I mean, of course, there's the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake that they hinted at, and we'll see. But if I were to guess, that game's not coming out. Other than that, I don't think they don't really have anything, right? Like we don't have a Rabbids game coming. There might be like a Rayman remaster or something kicking around somewhere that I'm ignorant of. But like what is coming from Ubisoft? Ghost Recon,
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I doubt it. Beyond Good and Evil 2, you can fucking keep wishing for Santa Claus to keep coming, but
Division 3, they were working on that.
That was not announced.
Was it announced?
No, because remember that team went and did Star Wars Outlaws, and we don't know what they're doing now.
Oh yeah, maybe I was thinking Splinter Cell, where we were hearing some rumors.
There was a announced Splinter Cell remake that we got a blog post about, and then we've seen nothing else about.
That might be released this year. You never know.
No, it's not. We're never seeing that happen. That's not happening.
Oh, you just think you know everything.
I mean, why would I have faith? They had a Game of the Year contender last year. They had probably the greatest Metroidvania game of all time, and they had the best Prince of Persia game of all time last year. They didn't market it. They didn't put it out on the right storefronts, and they let it just die on the fucking vine and be forgotten about. And then fumbled a Star Wars game. This company fucking sucks. They don't know how to manage their IPs, and even in that, they don't understand how to keep a work force like in line enough to where it like their employees can feel safe at work. So like, what do we expect from this fucking company, man? They're just a bunch of buffoons.
Hey, don't insult Yves Guillemot.
Yves Guillemot should probably be in jail.
He's done something.
There's some insider trading or something going on, or he's stealing wages or something.